On this week's show, new record for Game of Thrones, new best game of the year to be announced, and new Castlevania trailer released. Hello and welcome to the Fancy News Show from the Bottled Imp. My name is Ken Boyter, and yes, you've guessed it, this is your weekly fix of Fancy News. Because obviously it's going to be the news because it's in the title. Anyway, we start with a sequel to Neil Gaiman's 1996 Neverwhere novel has been announced. Neverwhere tells a story of Richard Mayhew, who is an ordinary young man drawn into the fantastical landscape of London below, and began life as a television series co-created by Gaiman's friend, the comedian and actor Lenny Henry. Yes, I'm surprised as well. I didn't know that. He suggested the concept of tribes of homeless people living beyond the notice of ordinary people in London. So it's got a strong social message. And Gaiman has hinted previously that he would write a sequel, and in an FAQ on his website already indicated that the title is The Seven Sisters. At a recent event, Gaiman said that a solid 3 chapters into the novel has been written, and he's confirmed that it will be his next book. Now, you might like to know that the title of the sequel takes its name from an ancient area of the real North London, with the name coming from the 7 elm trees planted in a circle there, with suggestions of pagan places of worship dating back to Roman times. Oh yes, nothing if not informative on this show. So that's very exciting news. I haven't seen or read the novel. I'm very excited though. I probably will check that out now, the Neverwhere, and then we'll see if we'll go for the sequel. Probably will. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling and get on to the next item, which is Series 7 of Game of Thrones creates a new viewing record for a TV trailer. That's slightly disingenuous because it's HBO's own trailers. In the first 24 hours, the first full-length Game of Thrones Series 7 trailer racked up a mind-boggling 61 million views across digital platforms, obviously YouTube, Twitter and Facebook. A little bit like our episodes. Hey, Julian?
Very close.
Very close, 61 million. We're about 50 odd? Yeah, we get. Tell your friends that we're a big channel. Anyway, it is on course to become HBO's most watched trailer of all time. The previous teaser, titled Long Walk to the Throne, earned that feat of being HBO's most watched ever clip, with views of 67.6 million since it was posted in March. So already they're really, really close to smashing that. HBO current number 1 is John Oliver's Donald Dumpf spoof from his new satire show Last Week Tonight, and that's had a whopping 98 million views. I hate to think that's just one person just spending all their time viewing it. No, it's probably not. The new series of Game of Thrones will be on air on the 16th of July. Excited by that. And that's in both in America and the UK. The 2017 Spiel des Jahres Tabletop Awards nominees have been announced. The Spiel des Jahres, which is German for Game of the Year, which is probably easier for me to say, although I wouldn't place bets on that, is an award for board and card games created in 1978, with the stated purpose of rewarding excellence in games design and promoting top quality games in the German market. The 9 nominees for the prestigious award are as follows: King Domino, Magic Maze, Race to El Dorado, Captain Silver, Ice Cool, The Mysterious The Mysterious Forest, Exit the Game, Raiders of the North Sea, and Terraforming Mars. So it's good to see that 4 of the titles are fantasy, so it just shows how strong the theme of fantasy is in the board game world. And the winner of the Game of the Year 2017 will be selected on the 17th of July in Berlin. The first official trailer for Netflix Castlevania has been posted. Inspired by the classic video game series created and developed by Konami back in the day in 1986, Castlevania is a dark medieval fantasy following the last surviving member of the disgraced Belmont clan, there we go, trying to save Eastern Europe from extinction at the hand of Dracula himself. Ooh, scary. 2 series of the show have been planned, with the first season to be released on July the 7th, 2017, and the second season sometime in 2018, as you probably expect. The first series is expected to be 4 parts at 30 minutes each, and the showrunner is Adi Shankar. It's written by Warren Ellis, with the animation by Federator Studios. From what I can tell from the trailer, it does have that anime feel to it, which is really cool, and it's very dark, very gritty. It does look quite stunning, so quite excited by that, because I do have Netflix. Wah-hurrah! And as I said before, it will be on Netflix on the 7th of July. Iron Age goldwork found in Staffordshire, England, could be the oldest ever found in Britain. Yes, Mark Hambleton, who went back to metal detecting after advice from his late father, made this find with his friend Joe Canier on the Staffordshire moorlands farmland. 3 necklaces and a bracelet were discovered, and are believed to be about 2,500 years old. I mean, that's amazing. I'm imagining finding that. That must be such a feeling. Honestly, who doesn't want to find treasure and loot? Huh? This is real treasure. Their find was declared treasure by an inquest led by coroner Ian Smith, who joked it would be likely to be worth a bob or 2. It probably will be. Dr. Julia Farley of the British Museum described the discovery, called the Leek Frith Iron Age Torques, as a unique find of international importance. She also said it dates to around 400 to 250 BC, and is probably the earliest Iron Age goldwork ever discovered in Britain. The torques were probably worn by wealthy and powerful women, perhaps people from the continent who arrived in and married into the local community. Now this is a really interesting fact. To be declared treasure, an item must be more than 300 years old, or have a precious mental content. I have that of more than 10%. It must have a precious metal content of greater than 10%. I might get that on a t-shirt. I have a precious mental content of above 10%. Anyway, the inquest heard that the torque's gold content was at least 80%, with each piece weighing between 230 grams, which is 8 ounces, or 31 grams, which is 1 ounce, prompting Mr. Smith to say, even as scrap metal, that's still worth a bob or 2. You see how I linked that back in. Anyway, a formal valuation will now take place at the British Museum. To find out more, you can visit the BBC website, and I'll put the link in the description of this episode because it's quite a long one. Wizards of the Coast have announced a new Dungeon Master's screen. Now, you might think, oh, it's just a screen, but haha. Reincarnated features a spectacular panoramic illustration by Tyler Jackson that features an ancient red dragon. We all love dragons, don't we? The screen is 4-panelled, with the interior rules content having been revisited and refreshed as a direct result of feedback that they received from their D&D fans everywhere. So I really like that idea, because I do have the earlier screen, the one that was launched, I think, pretty much the same time as the starter kit. And they've gone back. Obviously, people who've been playing the game have given them feedback, and they've gone in and changed it. They've monkeyed around with it. The screen is landscaped orientation that allows the Dungeon Master to easily see beyond the screen and reach over, and it keeps the die rolls that they're rolling and the notes hidden from players, which is obviously very, very important. The release date is the 19th of September this year. Kickstarter news. Ghost Hunter, Angels and Demons is an expandable, standalone, competitive card game for 2 to 6 players. Players are tasked with hunting the risen and the fallen, see what they did there? Angel and Demons. By playing sets of cards from your hand to capture the angels and demons to give victory points for the win. The game plays in about 20 minutes and can be combined with other decks in the series. Each deck has a slightly different abilities, although the core rules do stay the same for each deck. So if you have previous decks, because I think this is deck 5 in a series, you can actually play with the other decks. But each deck is standalone as well. So I think that's a very clever aspect to that game. And this is the 5th, as I say, yes it is. Here it is in my notes, the 5th Ghost Hunter card game from the designer Kedrick Winks and Ghastly Games. Previous Ghost Hunter decks are spirits, witches, monsters, and vampires. So this fits in nicely. I did happen to play the spirit deck, actually, at UK Games Expo at the weekend that I went along to. And I did really enjoy the game. It was a lot of fun. There's a lot of take that. You can screw the other players over. And consequently, they can screw you over as well. And it's a really quick game. It's really quick to pick up and really quick to actually enjoy on your first go. Because some games, if they're too complex, you're kind of going, well, I'm just kind of learning the mechanics. And then on the next game, that's when you start to really enjoy it. But not this. I enjoyed it right from the start. What else am I going to say? Oh, yes, the artwork is beautiful. It's on all the decks. It's all done by the same artist, Augustianus Raginskis. That's how you pronounce it. I do apologise. And yes, as I say, it does look amazing. All the artwork is very detailed and very gothic looking. It's very gritty. I love it. And it's so close to being funded, and that finishes on the 25th of June. 12 Realms. Dungeon Land is a standalone dungeon crawl game for 1 to 4 players from Mage Company Games. In 12 Realms, Dungeon Land players take on the role of famous folklore characters like Red Riding Hood and Prince Charming, each with unique abilities. They venture across the famous tales to stop great villains that have been turned by dark magic, changing the tale's endings and casting the realms into eternal darkness. Through these adventures, the heroes will gather experience, hone their skills, and can also acquire new ones using a skill tree system, collect gold, and discover powerful artifacts to aid them against their foul magic that has spread throughout the lands. Now, I quite like that idea of the levelling up. It's got a skill tree system, so a little bit like Skyrim, if you ever played that. That sounds cool. In this standalone game, there are 4 different ways to play the game. You can play it cooperatively, campaign mode, the arena, and the master quest. They do have a downloadable version as well of the rules, and they say that the rules are in development, but you can check out to see how it actually plays. They do say that the game actually is complete, but they're tweaking the rules slightly. There's lots of components in the books, including metal coins and 46 miniatures. What's not to like about that? They have various preview videos for you to get the feel of how the game plays, plus they do have various add-ons and stretch goals, as you would imagine. It's already funded and it finishes on the 27th of June. Creatures and Creeps, or is it Creepies? I might have made a typo there. The Monster Art of Karamath is a book containing hundreds of sketches from the American artist Andre Schultz. Andre Schultz, better known to many people who have followed him as Karamath, is creating a 100-page, 9-inch by 10-inch perfect bound book in full colour, featuring a combination of his rough sketches and more complete sketches, and there's also finished colour pieces as well. Andre has stated that his creature. What am I trying to say here? Andre has stated that his creature drawings, have largely been a personal thing that doesn't usually get published in print. That is, he's probably put them online, but he's not done them in print yet. And this time he thought he would like everybody to have so they can have a deeper look at what really makes him tick as an artist. And I love looking at artist sketchbooks. It's really cool to see their development. It's great. The book also has a warning on it. It said, for potential backers, I should say, the book will feature several disturbing, creepy, and/or autonomally correct monsters, all artistic in nature. So there you go. You have been warned. It has reached its target, and campaign finishes on the 22nd of June. Bottled Imp news. I went to the UK Games Expo in Birmingham at the weekend. It was the 3rd year that I've been. It's the 2nd year that Bottled Imp has been. Unfortunately, Julian couldn't make it, so we couldn't bring all the professional camera equipment and all the microphones. But fear not, because me and Grocklesnook, the imp, as you know, we had a little phone camera. Hurrah! We took photographs, and I did do a little interviews, couple of sort of off the cuff interviews with various people like Sam Healy and Zeke Garcia from the Dice Tower, and also Ben Looms from Sirenscape, and various other people as well. So we will be doing an imp chat about that. Julian will be delighted to know that we'll be talking about that, as I'm sure you will be. No, hopefully everyone will enjoy it. So we'll be putting those clips in that, and also the photographs. We'll probably be posting them up to the Facebook group as well. Who knows what we're going to do? It's crazy times. So check that out when it comes out soon-ish. On this week's Friday Fancy Show, we take a look at the family classic, Never Ending Story. Yay! I know it's a big fan favourite out there. It's got a huge cult following, and I wanted to revisit it. I did want to see if it would stand up for today's audience. So that's coming this Friday. Check that out. But that's all we have time for. Thank you so much for watching, fellow imps. Not else much to say, really, apart from did you have a lovely weekend? I did. Anyway, remember to keep it unreal, especially if you've been to the UK Games Expo.